at home, I remember, we live in they call it a bunga house. It's a mud house. And then one day it was raining, and then my pop side of the building, it got wet on the floor, and then it collapsed. So I went on a mental diet. I changed how I think, and then I say, you know what? I think the only way out here for me is through education. And that's when I started to go to school to focus more and take my education very seriously. So I used to tell myself, when I'm leaving this country, I'm going to fly from Banjul to wherever I'm going in the world. I'm not going to take no boat, because think about it, I don't know how to swim. I'm like a stone in the water. When I go in, I sink. So one of the struggles I was going through earlier on was, burning the midnight candles. Sometimes we go to Nusrat Senior Secondary School at night. We even have our blankets, right? We have our blankets to protect ourselves from the mosquitoes. Have a passion. Find something that you want, not what other people want you to do. Find something that you know you're gonna like, you're gonna enjoy, you're gonna have passion for, and put all your energy in there. Go 100%. Don't go 50, and never rest in the middle. Always rest in the end.
Poised to make a lasting impact on the world around him, Kebba Sanneh is a multifaceted force to be reckoned with, blending technology, leadership, and passion to make a difference in every facet of his life. With an impressive 5 years tenure in network management and system administration, Kebba's expertise is unparalleled. Though hailing from Kiang Kolio and raised in Bundung, his journey to the United States over a decade ago is a testament to his unwavering determination and resilience. In this exclusive conversation, Kebba delves into his early childhood memories, revealing the pivotal moments that have shaped his journey and molded him into the person he is today. Through his inspiring anecdotes, he challenges us to recognize our untapped potential and break free from self-imposed limitations. Kebba's interest extends far beyond the digital realm. He is an avid weightlifter, runner, and soccer enthusiast, channeling his boundless energy into physical pursuits.
SBI, aka Sanneh International.
Sanneh Boy International.
Sanneh Boy International.
That's right.
What do you do, and what does that mean?
So what I do, I work as an IT administrator, or IT coordinator / manager, and then I did that from a background of a computer science degree. So I did my computer science at the University of Northern Iowa. And to break it down, what is a computer science for somebody who have no idea what that is? It's programming, It's a bunch of programming with a bunch of languages, whereby we use Java, we use Python, and then we use C+, to do our codings. So we just build things from a syntax, you may call it,
Beautiful. Tracing back, you are a boy from Bundung.
Yes.
Tell us about life as a child growing up in Bundung.
I'm a native of Kiang, Kolio, but I grew up in Bundung between Jame Foundation and Nusrat Senior Secondary School. So I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters and 2 stepsisters. So I live in a household of my parents, both of my parents, and my stepmom. So it was a beautiful experience growing up in Bundung. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Beautiful. How would you say life was as a child? But of course, connecting it to what you're currently doing, it means therefore you went to school.
Yes.
Take us through that journey, that path.
As a child, life was not easy. Life wasn't easy at all as a child, because my parents, both my dad and my mom, they were not financially rich. So we we struggle financially to make ends meet on a day by day. I remember, in Bundu where we live, even our compound, was fenced by a corrugate, So that's how the struggle was from the beginning. And then my dad worked hard. He get up in the morning, go to work, make sure we have food on the table. My mom is also working hard every day and night to make sure we have food on the table. So as growing up as a child, I didn't realize that we were even that bad, because everything that I wanted is provided. Until as I grew up to become a teenager, that's when I realized that my friends, they live in a better household than I was. So, and sometimes that can be challenging, because I live in a household whereby there was no electricity. There was no running water, so I have to light candles. And I'm sure a lot of people my age can relate to this. Growing up, you are in a household whereby there is no running water, there is no electricity. There's nothing like that. The struggle was really, really real, but it makes me who I am today. It makes me a better person. It makes me appreciate the little things life throws at you. So alhamdulillah, I'm here today. I'm in a better position than I was from the beginning of time. But it's humbled me, because I started from a humble beginning. So I'm here now.
Okay. I guess that is the life that many of us would find ourselves. But what is interesting is, because we grew up from a humble beginning, that is to say, you've mentioned that you were not financially stable, financially strong. What brought you to where you are now? What were some of the hard work? Because if you were to look at most of the guests that we had here, they've mentioned hard work. That is the things that they had to do, particularly when it comes to their education, that got them to where they now are currently, and that got you to where you are now currently.
Yes.
So what were some of the struggles, if you like, you had to undergo?
I was struggling, financially. Like I said earlier, I came from a background whereby my parents were not rich financially, but we were very rich with love. They saw us love. They saw us word of encouragement. My mom is a very hardworking lady, and then my dad, may his soul rest in peace, and may Allah preserve my mom. These were two hardworking individuals, whereby I learned what hard work means. My dad would get up in the morning, he go do his thing and come home, make sure we eat. And my mom is doing the same thing. So for me, as the first son of the family by default, because 3 of my brothers passed away before I was born, then I became the first son by default now. And that means I'm the elder, and that makes me the boss. And because it makes me the boss, I have to work hard. I have to set an example for my younger brothers and my younger sisters. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, when I see the struggle in my mom's eyes, and even though I know she's trying to hide it from us, and I see the struggle in my dad's eyes trying to make ends meet, I was like, I have to change the life of this family. This is my responsibility to make sure, when I become the parents of my parents, I want to make sure I'm in a good position whereby I'm also able to assist them and help them, and also, guide my brothers and my sisters, and then those young people in my environment, whereby I can motivate them, because we all experiencing the same thing at the time.
Now, life as a schoolboy, it means you had to study.
Yes.
It means you had to do so many sacrifices to make sure you excel in school. What were some of those sacrifices you did?
So the hardship that I have been through, before, in the world of academia, at home, I remember, we live in they call it a bunga house. It's a mud house. And then one day it was raining, and then my pop side of the building, it got wet on the floor, and then it collapsed. The whole side collapsed, and it collapsed to the outside, because usually these mud houses, when they collapse, they go to the outside. And it was raining at the time. I was in the living room, and that happened. So now we had to go and figure out something how to block that, before the rain comes into my dad's room. So at that point, the struggle is real, so we had to put some like the bag of rice. Those things we have to cut it, open it, and then stitch it together, and try to cover it for privacy. Because at that time, there is not enough money to rebuild it as quickly as possible. So that was one of the earliest struggles that I was seeing in the house. And sometimes, when it's raining, the rain is dripping in the house. And then so we have to take a bucket and put it in the living room so the water can go through it. So for me, looking at those things, it just galvanized me to be better, to change that narrative. Because for far too long I'm watching something that is very unpleasant. So if anything, it's just gonna motivate me to do better, to make sure my kids and my parents in their old age don't continue living this kind of situation. So I went on a mental diet. I changed how I think, and then I say, you know what? I think the only way out here for me is through education. And that's when I started to go to school to focus more and take my education very seriously. So even though sometimes it's hard, you have to walk all the way to the school. Those were all the challenges that I have to face. And I'm sure a lot of youngsters out there, they can relate to this, whereby you have to walk back and forth from school. We've been there before. We have all these buses, transportations, or whatever the case may be. And then sometimes you don't have lunch money, because not every day your parents have money. Sometimes you come and you say, Dad, can I have some money for lunch? And he said, I don't have money today. But I don't use that as an excuse to stay home. I have to go to school because I want to change that narrative. I want to make sure when I'm ready to be there for my dad, I'm ready. And the only way to be ready is to go to school. So from the beginning, even in my neighborhood, I was one of the kids whereby we love school. I just want to go to school, man. I just want to finish, because I have seen how people who were educated, what they were doing, and then the jobs they have accomplished, the cars they were driving. So at the time, for me, education is my only savior. Yep.
Okay, I find your story really interesting, because now, even though we have so many of us young people going to school, we believe that it's only through traveling that we can acquire. You've mentioned you see people cars and all that, and you felt education would get you that.
Yeah.
So did you at any point thought of probably venturing into the back way? At least that would have brought the fund that you needed for your parents to help them in terms of their finance. Were you at any way challenged?
When I was a teenager, in those days, backway was not this popular. In those days, backway was like a secret mission. People hide. Even when they're talking about it, it's not in an open dialogue. They just do it under the ground. And then so at the time, okay, first of all, think about it, right? My family is struggling financially. My dad is trying to make ends meet. Even though if I was interested in going on a back way, where am I gonna get the money? There will be no finance, because to go back way, it's not like you get up one day and then you just go. You need to be in a financial comfortability in order to take that journey.
I'm not sure that's the case, because oftentimes we see those that went through the back way, it's either they have taken someone else's money or do another means, because let's be honest.
Right now. Are you talking about now? You're talking about now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the beginning.
Okay.
It wasn't this popular.
Okay, it wasn't this popular.
People don't have these ideas of taking somebody's money and go, because we don't even talk about it. So in those days, what we talked about is how to go to Europe or America as an international student. This was our agenda. All we talk about was I-20. We only talk about I-20, I-20, I-20. We don't talk about Bagway. And then I remember when Bagway started to be popular, I told my friends, I said, look, I'm not gonna go Bagway. That's not me. No disrespect to anybody who went through Bagway and they made it, but we have a lot of youngsters out there who lost their life as well. You know what I'm saying? So I used to tell myself, when I'm leaving this country, I'm going to fly from Banjul to wherever I'm going in the world. I'm not gonna take no boat, because think about it, I don't know how to swim. I'm like a stone in the water. When I go in, I sink. And then one of the reasons why many people die in this bad way, because they don't know how to swim. Majority don't know how to swim. Once that boat capsizes, that's the end of their story.
Very, very well.
They just They can't swim, man, like myself.
Very well. I can, I personally even can't swim. But what I want to understand here is because we've gotten Ibrahima Sanneh, and we've seen him also in his story. He has written a book about it, that is Purposeful Education, and it's about his educational journey. And in that story, it has shown how much he has sacrificed towards his education. And when we talk about this, is the fact that getting up less, maybe having less sleep, giving your utmost times, staying awake to make sure that you read, right? Now, you understanding that education would take you out of this country, does it mean that you had to burn the midnight candle, if you like? Does it mean that you had to walk miles away from your home to actually do, oftentimes now it's very familiar with group studies or so? Can you take us through? Because I'm asking this question because you are now living in the United States, and what took you there is education. Now I want you to tell us, what were some of those struggles in terms of the education that you did that got you here? Because someone else may be inspired by this.
You know, when I was in high school, like I said earlier, I live in Bundung. I was very close to Nusrat Senior Secondary School, so it's like, just maybe 2-3 miles away from Nusrat. So I used to go to Nusrat because I had to change my environment. I had to change my friends group. So I have to have friends whereby we have one thing in common, and it's education. So my environment was good in high school. I had a good environment. I was with only smart, intelligent people. I was the least smartest person in that group, because the reason why I surrounded myself with those people, I was like a sponge around them. A sponge, you put in, it absorbs water. So me to be around those people, I was only absorbing knowledge from them. They make it look so simple and easy, and I was really enjoying that. So one of the struggles I was going through earlier on was, burning the midnight candles. Sometimes we go to Nusrat Senior Secondary School at night. We even have our blankets, right? We have our blankets to protect ourselves from the mosquitoes. And then sometimes, some nights, the light will go off throughout the Bundung area. So I'll go home because I have to read. So I'll go home, and then I will light my candle on, because we didn't have light in our house. So regardless whether there is light or not, I still have no light. But I will use my candle, and then I'll bring me a bucket. So I will place a bucket here, and I remove my shoes and everything. I will dip my feet in the bucket, in the water. Then I will start reading, so I can stay awake. Because the moment I move, I feel cold. So it keeps me awake. So those were one of the struggles I was going through, to make sure I stay up to date. And then I was reading, and then I have my friends Ibrahima Sanneh and Ibrahima Sanneh, those two people, and Amadou Barrow, Sekou Touré, because Sekou Touré was the head boy at Nusrat at the time. So we used their computer lab. It has AC, so we will bring our gari and eat. And then, because they said an empty barrel cannot stand, right?
Yeah.
So, or empty bag cannot stand. So we have to eat gari first. We had girls like Aissatou Balde, Famataba. They hang out with us, so we studied together, So my environment was good. I was in a very good environment, whereby, they keep me up to date, and they keep me accountable. And that has helped me a lot. But the struggle was real.
So how are you maintaining that? Were you then also hanging out? Of course, you've mentioned changing your surroundings.
Yes.
Right? Meaning going in with people who are more focused when it comes to their education. But were you at any point influenced out of that? At any point?
Yes. Before my grade 9, before my grade 10, when I was in grade 9, I wasn't one of the best students out there. I was having problems with teachers all the time. Sometimes, if the teacher makes me mad, I will just go and skill over the fence at LK and just leave. Or sometimes I remember Mr. Cole at LK. One day he asked me to go and monkey dance outside of the grade 7 block, and then I was there for a minute, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do this. So I just left a scale over the fence and then I went home, you know. So I was very stubborn. And this has impacted my grade 9 results. But once I was able to transition from grade 9 to grade 10, that's when I said, you know what, from now on to grade 12, this is what is going to define my life. If I want to make it to the university, my grade 10, 11, 12 have to be good. Because at grade 10, I realized that if I drop out of high school, there is no way of me landing a good job as a dropout. So the only way to get a good job out there is to get a good education. And at that point, I was like, you know what? If I want to make it to the United States of America, or if I want to make it to the UK as an international student, my grade 12 have to be good. And my grade 12 don't have to be good at grade 12. It has to start getting better at grade 10. So at the incept, at the earliest stage, I started to build my foundation. From grade 10, I started being a good student.
Right.
From grade 10, 11, and 12.
So you change your mindset.
Yeah, I went on a mental diet. I have to go on a mental diet.
Beautiful.
So I have to feed my mind with some positive energies, you know, and with positive people around me. Because I don't want to be around people who are going to be a gravity. And if you know gravity will pull you down. So I don't want to be around people who are going to tell me, you don't want to pass leading, you cannot do this, because they are questioning the integrity of what I have to offer. So I have to be around people, when I explain them what I want to do, they will tell me, yo, you can do it. We have seen that in you and we know you can do it.
Fantastic.
Those are the people that I needed to be around me. And those are the people that were around me at the time.
Beautiful.
Even today, they are still around me.
Beautiful.
I kept them.
So meaning the environment, the people around also matters.
Yeah, we are the product of our environment.
Right.
Because we are the product of our environment, you know, so you have to make sure you are in a good environment. Don't be in a toxic environment. Because I don't want to be around people who are always out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be around people who are out of pocket. I need to be around people who have, you know, positive vibes, good energy. You know, they have good intention and they have something they want to, you know, leave behind, like a legacy. At the beginning, before I traveled, I said I want to travel 102 countries. And then I really want to go to some of the beautiful places in Europe, you know, because at the beginning, I always said I wanted to go to the UK, right? But, you know, we plan and God also have his plans.
Man proposed, but God disposes.
Exactly. So I was looking for schools in London. But when I was accepted, they asked me for a lot of pounds, you know, I don't get the money. So I say, you know what, I better start applying in the United States, whereby, you know, they are going to accept me without making any down payment, you know. And that's the opportunity that I got. I applied Marshalltown Community College. If you're out there, you can still apply. Marshalltown Community College, that's what I applied. I got my I-20. I only pay for my housing, right? But America was not my number one. So if to answer your question, I think I really want to go to Sweden. I want to go to Sweden, and then I want to go to Germany, you know, places like that. I want to visit them, you know.
Why do you want to go to those places?
I want to go to Sweden because I'm just curious, man. I just want to see how it looks like, you know. I heard a lot of stuff about it. As far as the United States is concerned, that's where I live, you know. So I have been to 30 states in the United States. So I have seen a lot there, you know. But now I want to see more. I want to go in a different environment. So I would rather go to Germany. You know, I have friends over there, and I want to go to Sweden. I have friends over there.
Okay.
You know, or even maybe China someday. Magic of Thinking.
Okay.
The book is called Magic of Thinking.
Okay.
This is what changed my mind. You know, when I was reading Magic of Thinking, there's a paragraph that says, you know, we have two angels on our wings, right? So you have two angels here. If you said something like, I want to do this. If you say you want to do something, you activate these angels right here, the right one. And it's going to give you all the reasons why you can do it, and all the solutions and ways and how to get there and to make it done. But the moment you say you cannot do it, you activate these other angels, the negative angels, and it's going to give you all the reasons why you cannot do it. So at that point, I was like, wow, are you kidding me? So from that point, I said, you know what? I always have to set me a goal and then and follow through that goal. And to top on that, another book that also inspired me is called Make Your Bed. Make Your Bed. And the reason why it inspired me is because I read in that book, if you wake up every day, have a goal. They said a dream without a goal is not a dream. So you have to have a goal. And then after reading that book, I have one goal every single day, is to make my bed. Every day I wake up in the morning, I have to make sure I make my bed. So if I don't achieve any other goals out there that day, at least when I come back home, I'm going to a bed that's already been made. You know, they said, you know, the more you get older, the more you get wisdom, you know. So life has changed from when I was a kid, and now the world has changed, and the world is changing very fast, and the world is moving very fast. And the world we're living in right now, you have to believe in who you are. You have to believe in, you know, you as a person. Before you try to encourage anybody else to believe in you, who you are, always believe in yourself first, and always try to be your own cheerleader. Because this world we're living in, I'm telling you, this world is ghetto. This world we're living in right now is ghetto, man. It's so ghetto. People are bad. People are so bad. People are bad. And then, but if you have a good, you know, brought up, you have a good environment, you have good education, people respect that. Even me in the United States, like sometimes people will ask me, oh, I remember one time I was at work. I was doing a part-time job and I was going to the university. you know, this lady, she was telling me she said she was volunteering at my job.
Okay.
I said, okay, that's nice. And then she said, you know, do you know what's volunteer? So she started to explain to me what volunteer is. I had to stop her here. Whoa. You know, relax. I'm going to the University of Northern Iowa. So at least I think I should know what volunteer is. You don't have to explain, because people, they look you down. You know, and the moment they know you are going to school, you are achieving something, then they respect what you're doing. So education is the key, man.
Fantastic.
There are so many ways, but education is one of the success roads you can take. There are so many ways to success. It's not only education, but it's a fundamental key to success. I don't know if I want to call this exciting, you know, but the change in technology for me right now is AI, you know, artificial intelligence. It's, yo, we live in a fake world, man. This world is fake. This world is so fake. It's so bad. It's so dangerous because of AI. You know, right now, somebody out there can just take my picture and my voice, and they can create a video or a movie that looks like I'm the one who did it.
Wow.
But I'm never there. It's because of AI. You know, AI makes us live in a superficial world. It makes this world so fake. I'm telling you, man.
Obviously.
It's so fake, man. So you gotta be very careful out there. Don't believe in everything you see online. You know, it's AI, man. It's not real, man.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, and it's dangerous, man. I don't know if I want to call it exciting, you know, but it's dangerous, man. If there's anything I can change in the society, is to change, you know, the people's mentality. You know, a lot of time where I'm from, people think one person is responsible for everybody else. You know, they think your success is for all of them. Their success, so they have to go to bed and sleep because you have to take care of everybody else. You know, so if I have to change that, is to make sure I change the way they think, and also to encourage youngsters and even the older people to be more independent. Because the more they are independent, the less the stress is on one person, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But other than that, right now, you know, as an African society, you have one breadwinner, is taking charge of, you know, 30, 40 people, and it's gonna be hard for you to be rich or to be at your success peak, you know? because you are coming from, you have a poor relatives, you know, so everybody wants your support, and this is hard, man. You know, we are all there. I'm so those in the diaspora and those who are doing well on the ground locally, you know, they can relate to what I'm saying right now. You know, it's hard, man. But you know, we here, you know, we're doing the best we can. Fear is not real, you know. Fear is not real. So I don't worry too much. I don't spend too much time on fear, because if you spend too much time on fear and getting worried, it gives you nothing but anxiety. People get anxiety to create problems that does not exist in the future because of fear. They start to say, what if I want to start this business, what if this happens, what if? Now you start to create things that does not even exist yet, and it's giving you fear, it's giving you anxiety, it's giving you stress. So for me, I always live in the moment. I live in the moment. You know, I'm worried about today. Sometimes people ask me, hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I say, okay, wait, 5 years from today, ask me again. You know, but I don't spend too much time on fear, you know. I focus on the present, and I set my goal, and I have, you know, strategies to execute those goals. And I go with it, but I don't let fear to control my next move, you know. Again, I take things day by day, you know. I'm always in the moment. I'm always in the moment. Because if you focus on the uncertainty, it gives you stress. It gives you stress. So put your energy on something that you know you are certain about. And don't focus too much on the uncertainty part of it, you know, because it's just a background noise. Uncertainty is a background noise. It's a background noise. You better believe that. You know, focus on the present and have a goal and have ideas and strategies to execute those goals. Because these are all formulas. People before you that have succeeded, they use the same formulas.
Beautiful.
So use the same formulas and don't focus too much on the uncertainty, you know?
Beautiful.
Because it's only going to give you anxiety. It's to be humble, man. You know, it's to be humble. In this world, you just have to be humble, no matter where you are. I always try to stay humble as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes some people might say some otherwise, but in my own definition, you know, I think humbleness is a key to a lot of success. And this humbleness helped me in the world of academia, because when I was going to college, I have to humble myself so I can ask those students, my friends, my colleagues, questions about things that I don't know. Because if I don't humble myself and put myself on a lower level and ask them, look, I don't understand what's going on, and I don't know what it's talking about, but I really want to understand it. Can you help me? Can you break it down for me in a layman term? And the only way that gave me the opportunity to do that is to humble myself. I have to humble myself so I can learn from those people. That's why my parents used to tell me, if you want something from people, you have to lay down, let them walk on your back. So you got to be humble enough to lay down and for them to walk on your back. It's when I arrived in New York City. When I arrived in New York City, I was ready to go to Iowa, to go to Mastertown Community College. And then there's a brother. He asked me, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Iowa. He said, for what? I said, I'm going to school. He said, he just got here. Why you want to go to Iowa? Why you want to go to the Why you want to go to that bus? Why don't you stay in New York City and work and make that money? You know what I'm saying? And you don't even have to go to school in Iowa. You know, so I looked at him, I said, look, brother, I understand what he's saying, but I came here for one goal, is to go to school. And if I don't go to school right now, I'm going to go out of status. And if that happens, I'm going to be hiding. And I don't want to hide. I want to go to school. So that was the worst advice somebody has ever gave me. And I was less than 72 hours in the States when I received this advice. It was the worst advice ever. But I'm so happy that I never fall for that trap. Because a lot of brothers and sisters out there in New York City or California or wherever you might be, they have received the same advice and they fell for the trap, and they are still struggling for that. They never finished their education because they were out of status and they mess up, man. really bad.
Aw.
To the youngsters out there, is, believe in who you are and stay hungry. Never get full, because the moment you get full, that's the moment you lost your hunger. The moment you get full, that's the moment you become lazy. The moment you get full, that's the moment you lose all the opportunities out there. Stay hungry and believe in who you are, and always have a passion. Find something that you want, not what other people want you to do. Find something that you know you're gonna like, you're gonna enjoy, you're gonna have passion for, and put all your energy in there. Go 100%. Don't go 50, and never rest in the middle. Always rest in the end. Never rest in the middle.
Well, there you go. I would like to believe we've all learned from SBI's story. This is Generation Next, and of course, our motive always is to inspire, is to motivate. Please, we encourage you to share. We encourage you to like our videos, and we promise to be better at our production. That is, if you like and share and subscribe to our channel. Mohammed and Betty, thank you always for being there. I was your presenter, Sarah Chok. Until we come your way again, it's a cheers from the entire Generation Next team. And of course, Kebba also, I forgot to mention, is part of the executive of Generation Next, and we're happy to actually have him on the platform as well.